NBA Finals start tonight. Welcome into another one of our earlier morning More Than Philly sports talk shows. It's great to be here with all of you on this edition of the show. We got a good show coming up. Got a lot of topics to go over. We're talking about the NBA today. We got the finals up. Jalen REAGOR just placed on IR, what that means for the Eagles moving forward here as we are on Wednesday, the 30th of September. Gavin, we are halfway through the week here, and man, we got Thursday, Friday coming up. We got some good shows coming the next 2 days. We got NBA Finals starting tonight, MLB playoffs. Eagles play Sunday. We'll see if they do anything. Tomorrow's Sunday night game or Thursday night game is the Broncos and the Jets, so we'll see how that goes. But other than that, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Zach. I'm gonna start protesting Thursday night football because it's garbage. Or at least Monday night had the potential to be something really good. Didn't come out like that, but Zach, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. We got an abbreviated show today, but that's all right. We got a lot to go over. I know you have a lot to talk about, I'm sure, with the NBA Finals here, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat. It's going to be an exciting series, in my opinion. It's going to be a gritty one. It's going to be physical. It's going to be exciting. So we're going to get right into it and get started with it here. The NBA Finals, they start tonight, Gavin. It's finally here, man. Again, props. Again, the NHL finished up their Stanley Cup final. We are here right now in this final. The bubble has been so far doing really well. It seems like everything's been going fine. There are going to be some fans in attendance. They are only family and close friends of the players. So it's going to be happy. It's going to be exciting. We got Mike Breen on the call as he's done for so many years now. And we're here. We've made it. We have successfully made it to this point. And no matter whether or not we're happy about how our basketball team did this year, we are glad to see all this go down, especially during a time like this in our country. And with everything going on, it's just glad to see at one point some things are able to remain the same. With Mike Breen on the call in the NBA Finals on ABC, what's more iconic than that, Gavin?
My favorite Mike Breen's call is Steph Curry in Oklahoma City, where he nails the half court shot a little bit further than half court, and he nails it and he screams "bang!" The iconic words of "bang." So to hear that he's going to be on the call tonight is fantastic because you know why, Zach? My favorite show when it comes to NBA, inside the NBA, just ended because of the Lakers. It's the Lakers' fault it ended so soon. But, Zach, at least we're going to get Mike on the call. And regarding to tonight's game, you already know what I'm going to say. You already know where I'm going with this. Ladies and gentlemen, the Miami Heat are going to win tonight. And they're going to win the series in 6 games. Zach, you know why I'm saying this like this? Because Bam Adebayo is going to be the first real test for Anthony Davis. The first one.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm taking Miami tonight as well. Again, I've been taking the opposing team of the Lakers in game one. It takes a game or so for them to get coaching, everything settled that way. I'm not worried about this series for them. First of all, no disrespect to the Miami Heat. They're a hell of a team. Eric Spoelstra, even LeBron James said this man deserves a lot more respect than he gets. For those who don't know his story, he's come from nothing, from the bottom of that organization. You want to talk about working your way up, something we talk about so much here on the show. Iconic phone here early in the morning, of course. But in reality here, you talk about a guy like Eric Spoelstra, a guy who worked his way up, and he has done a heck of a job. Pat Riley and him, the way that they built this franchise, the way that they've had this team, whether it be with Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal, bringing him over from the Lakers, and then you have a situation where you bring in a guy like LeBron James, a guy like Chris Bosh, keeping Dwayne Wade there. They were originally going to either New York or going possibly to Chicago, for those who don't know the story of how the Big Three formed. And they said, you know what, we're going to go to South Beach. Everyone knows the iconic decision that LeBron James had on ESPN. And, I mean, it's going to be a great series. First of all, there's a lot of historic significance in it. I want to start with that. So as an NBA historian, as an NBA fan who's known this game, it's an exciting series no matter what. Now, on the actual modern day, on the LeBron James take, obviously, which Gavin and I would discuss a lot here, first of all, this is a LeBron James versus Pat Riley kind of series too. There's so many storylines here. And the reality situation, I've said that a couple of times now, because when you take a look at Pat Riley, he tried to keep LeBron James in South Beach. He stayed for 4 years. He goes into Pat Riley's office. He said, I'm going home. You know, and so that after they lost to the Spurs in their 4th year together, he said he wanted to go home. Chris Bosh, unfortunately, had a few health problems that ended up breaking up the Big Three. Ultimately, Dwayne Wade would make a few more playoff pushes, including one against the Sixers a couple years back. But here, looking at this, there's a lot more storyline as well. Jimmy Butler, talk about another guy who came from nothing, and talk about opportunity that he's had. He was kicked out of his house when he was like 10 or 11 and had to work his way back to be able to be back with his mom and to be able to go up to JUCO and go to a bunch of different places so he can get an offer to Marquette and to get drafted by the Bulls and to be around guys like Joakim Noah and Derrick Rose and a couple other players that were true dominants, true veterans in such a franchise like Chicago. And then he went up to Minnesota where he had an opportunity to be a leader, and he faced adversity with Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, which Wiggins said he has no problem with him. I call BS on that, but it does seem like that Cat seems to have the issue with Butler some more. Jimmy comes to Philadelphia, and he made this team look really good. He had the determination, the grit on his face, and he took a chance. I'm going to go to a team that might not have all the pieces yet, and I'm going to take my chances there to be a leader. And he came to Miami, and look where they are now, Gavin. They did not have an easy route to the NBA Finals. They had to play a really good Pacers team, red hot in the bubble. They swept them. And then you have to play the Milwaukee Bucks. What a shocker that was. Giannis getting hurt at the end, but the series was already over at that point. It's not because Giannis got hurt that they ended up losing the series. It was a series like that. And then they went on and they had to beat the Boston Celtics in 6, the most trouble they had in this postseason. So by prefacing that, no disrespect to the Miami Heat, but I think that LeBron James, I think that the Los Angeles Lakers are the better team in this series, the more veteran presence. But it's going to be a great battle because there's a lot of dogs on both sides, especially with the Miami Heat. I love how the Miami Heat are made up. And if they win this series, it's going to be the first ever 5 seed to win the NBA Finals. Fun fact there. But as I said, I'm going to take Miami tonight. I think they're going to have a good time. But I think LeBron James needs to show up in this series. All right. If the Lakers win this series, LeBron James is Finals MVP. Gavin, like you said, Anthony Davis is not going to have his way the way that he wants to. He's going to be forced to have to make a lot of jumpers. And if he's off, LeBron James needs to get there and do something. Who's going to stop LeBron James as well? Is it going to be Jimmy Butler? Is he going to be the guy that's going to be defending him? A physical big player like Crowder is not going to be able to necessarily stop him. And you got a couple other guys out there, Goran Dragic, who's going to need to be consistent. The Finals, I don't know how much pressure they're going to feel. All right. They haven't seemed to fold to it yet. And with the lack of fans, it's easy for the Miami Heat. We've been waiting. When are the Heat going to fold the pressure? Let's just concede they're not going to. But with a guy like LeBron James out there, anything can happen. All right. The Finals is where he's made. And I know his Finals record is not pretty. Today's not the GOAT debate. We're just talking about the logistics of this series.
Not pretty, exactly. Let's just put that out there and emphasize that. But go ahead.
We know this. We're just talking about the logistics of this series. And I think in reality, the Lakers are the better built team. However, the Heat are the better coach team. And both sides want it a lot. So we're going to see what happens here. And if the Lakers win, of course, you had the Kobe Bryant chip on your shoulder. Miami Heat have a lot riding for them as well. This is a great storyline, a great series. Every NBA basketball fan should be happy with this Finals, Gavin. I know you wish to see the Clippers or even both of us. It would be nice to see Denver make it and just see 2 teams that were not expected to be there. But I'm excited for it. I'm really looking forward to this series. I kind of hope it is a 7-game series. I am going to take the Lakers in 6, though.
3-8 would look so good on the Finals record, but we're not talking about that. Zach, the storyline, you're right. The storylines are incredible. Another one is Duncan Robinson. There was a report on Instagram that Duncan Robinson thought his basketball career was over, and he tried to do a broadcasting job. And 3 years later, look at him now. He's in the NBA Finals. So that's another that's another great storyline. But when it comes to this Finals is going to be something new, something classic. And there was a picture. We wanted to see this Finals a couple of years ago. Kobe Bryant versus LeBron James. Obviously, Kobe Bryant couldn't do it due to his team wasn't the best around him, and I think his body's wear and tear was also catching up with him as well, sadly. But Zach, when it comes to this Finals has the potential of being something great and fantastic. Why I say those in that order? Because you got arguably an underrated big man in Bam Adebayo that needs to start claiming more respect in the league. From what I've seen, from what I've seen from him for the past couple games, or just bubble entirely, and then this whole year, he's looked like a top 5 big man in the league.
Easily. And in the playoffs, arguably number 2 or number 1, wherever you want to throw Anthony Davis at. I think Anthony Davis is still number 1, but Bam Adebayo is right there, number 2. But Zach, you talk about a guy in Jimmy Butler. The reason why this Heat team is so good is dogs, and you said it. And I'm gonna reiterate: they got dogs on the other side of the team, on that court. Tyler Hero, you got Jimmy Butler, you got Bam Adebayo, you got Goran Dragic, you got all these guys that don't want to fail. And your coach came from the lowest of the low to arguably, arguably, he's gonna go down as I won't say the greatest coach of all time, but he will be known as one of the Could arguably make an argument for top 5, possibly top 10, I think, for sure.
Top 10, arguably. Top 10 he's already in it, but top 5, if he wins this one, I think top 5 is debatable.
Yeah, I think he'll need at least 2 or 3 more, but for sure he's made his pedigree for sure, and he's had a lot of great talent. But now he's got not as much talent. We'll see what happens. But with that being said, Gavin, we're going to recap that tomorrow. We'll be excited to talk about the NBA Finals in all of its glory. We'll probably have to do either a pregame or postgame possibly this weekend. So everyone stay tuned for that. I know we've been wanting to do that if we can make our schedules work out. But coming up after this, more issues for the Philadelphia Eagles and what this means for this upcoming matchup against a well-coached San Francisco 49ers, but also banged up. We'll talk about that after this.
We are now offering a new product on our Teespring. Wear a mask in public. We are now supporting a custom-designed mask with our logo on it. Purchase it today, and 10% goes to a foundation of our viewers' choice. It offers a full nose and mouth coverage, single-sided print, includes 2 2-inch elastic ear loops, non-medical grade product, and finally, $1 from every mask sale is donated to a nonprofit to feed children in need. Enjoy today's episode.
Yeah, welcome back. Eagles not looking so hot at all. Right now, the wide receiving core is Greg Ward, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, possibly Deshaun Jackson, and Deontay Burnett maybe, and Zach Ertz. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. First of all, coaching's been terrible. Quarterback play's been awful. Week 1, the O-line was terrible. Week 2, the O-line started to come together. Carson Wentz just had a bad week. Week 3, all of his weapons went down, and he was no help by missing some key throws. Coaching is going to need to make the adjustment. If they lose this week, I'm putting it on coaching pretty bluntly, unless he misses. If he's missing slants, then yeah, I'll give you that. But if the playbook is not simple this week, we got problems. We got another problem. We knew Jalen Reagor was hurt and had a surgery, but he's been placed on injury reserve now, which means they needed that roster spot, which means they fear it's going to be more than 3 weeks. So, Gavin, some initial reactions to this. See what your thoughts are here on another year of banged up receivers for the Eagles.
Well, Zach, I came out and said it once, and I'll say it again. Justin Jefferson was the obvious pick here. The obvious pick. That's twice. And I know DK Metcalf, in Seattle, has his moments where not running into the end zone, jogging and losing the ball to the Cowboys.
At least he got open and caught it. I mean,
exactly.
What these guys can do.
Exactly.
Imagine having back-to-back drafts of DK Metcalf and Justin Jefferson.
And you get neither one, and you had the opportunity to get both. I wasn't upset with the Miles Sanders pick. That's a great pick. That's the best pick out of that last draft. Him and Andre Dillard, I don't know yet. I haven't seen Andre Dillard do that much work yet.
He's just hurt right now. It's unfortunate.
When it comes to this Jalen Reagor pick, and I told you, Zach, and I texted you this, when Jalen Reagor had that one catch for 55 yards, and everybody thought the future is here, I said, wait a minute. That's all he had was one catch for 55 yards. He didn't do anything else the rest of that Washington game. You come back next week, you do a little bit something here and there, nothing else, but then you're hurt. Justin Jefferson had a slow start. Your quarterback's Kirk Cousins. I can't really hate on Kirk Cousins today because of Carson Wentz. But damn it, Justin Jefferson looked great last Sunday. And I know they still lost, but look how good he looked. He's going to be a star. He's from LSU, of all places. He plays against defenses that are arguably like the NFL, that have NFL caliber defenses. You go against Alabama. You go against Clemson, all right? You go against Georgia. And the fact, Zach, and here's a little fun tip for those who may not know. Against all those teams I just named against, I know he had Joe Burrow as quarterback, but he did something against all those secondaries. And you get a guy from TCU. And I'm not trying to hate on Jalen Reagor because it may seem like I am, but I'm just trying to show Eagles fans and fans that thought the production we saw from Jalen Reagor is going to make him better than Justin Jefferson. And I hope I'm wrong because, Zach, I want to be wrong. And you know I do, especially on this one. But when you talk about NFL ready right now, there was 2 guys in back-to-back years that was NFL ready, and you're getting neither one.
They're both SEC guys too. I mean, these are real defenses you're going up against. We know the Big 12 is a joke. CeeDee Lamb, I mean, he's Big 12 too, but he was also pretty talented.
Also went against good defense.
Without doubt how he drops the ball. Again, Reagor he's a dog. You want to talk about a dog? He's got a great mentality. I love it. He's just unfortunate he's hurt. The coaching staff is not using him correctly right now. He's just running streaks left and right. That's not how you do it. Take what the defense gives you. They're backing up. They're doing something they didn't do last year. Last year you had to thread the needle. This year you don't have to. So I don't know. I mean, I would have much rather had Justin Jefferson. I think we're just more upset that Jefferson had a good week versus Rager's unfortunate injury. Rager's going to be a good player in this league. He was not the best pick for this team at this time. You can get speed in any round. We did in Quez Watkins and John Hightower. Hightower's struggling right now. Hopefully he can get more involved. And Watkins has been hurt. He's actually been activated just yesterday, which I'm excited for. The Eagles are trying to copy the Chiefs. It's not going to work. Newsflash. First of all, Sammy Watkins runs slants. They have a guy that runs underneath. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do. Eagles are just really scheming a really bad team right now. I mean, at some point, I got to go back and watch this film and see if it's as bad as it looks. Because
do you really want to? That's a real problem.
I have to figure out, is it really just Carson Wentz, or do we have some really bad schemes where guys can't get open?
It's a mixture of both, Zach, because Carson Wentz misses throws, but the play calling has been ridiculously stupid. You're going on 1st and 10. Why? Why don't you run? Excuse me. You're doing screen passes on 3rd and 5, and you're not even getting positive yards.
And on 2nd down, you're doing that little Greg Ward checkoff where you lose yards. They ran that play so many times last year, and it just doesn't work. The Eagles are probably the worst I've said it before. The Eagles are probably the worst 2nd down team in the league.
But Zach, you got to look at the play calling too. You also got to look at Carson Wentz. What happened to the Carson Wentz that was, I don't know, you used to be able to change the play. You used to check things. He doesn't do that no more. It looks like they don't have trust in Carson Wentz.
They don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, I had up to here with this Eagles team. I'm not giving up on them. But I would say this. If the league, the NFL were to shut down play and we didn't have to watch the Eagles for like 2 to 3 weeks because of the COVID scare of the two teams, which there is a new report that Tennessee Titans where does have it, so it was cross-team spreading now. But Zach, I wouldn't be upset. I'll be happy. I don't gotta watch this garbage on Sunday.
Yeah, no, I mean, they play Sunday night against San Fran. You want to talk about a well-coached team? Look at San Francisco. Watch the creativity on Sunday night and compare it to the Eagles. Unless they come out and magically, they have some games where they do that. Last year they did against Dallas, the last game of the season. I guess they had creativity.
They ran the football.
I don't know why they forget to do it. Sanders had 95 yards too. It doesn't feel like it, but you have a running back who can casually do that. He should be getting 24, 25 carries a game. You should be running wheel routes to him. You should do the things that work. Work around your quarterback. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to succeed. It's that simple. You don't get rid of a quarterback if he's shown that he can be successful in your system. You have to modify your system for him. Don't try to force it. And again, Carson's had a struggle for this year, but based on the big enough sample size, he's never really been the problem until now.
Well, Zach, my last thing I'm going to, and I said it earlier in the week, I'm going to say it again. When the day Frank Wright left is the day the creativity of Doug Peterson died. And what I mean by that is nothing looks creative no more. It looks stupid. It looks basic. Madden has better plays than that. And every playbook in Madden is the same. Zach, we can run the same plays in Madden, and it looks better than what Doug Peterson puts out there on Sunday. I'm just saying. Can you be creative? Can you put your offense in a chance to win? Can you help us? Can you help Carson? Carson, can you help yourself by hitting some throws? Zach Ertz, can you take some contact? Can we keep running the football? Offensive line, can you not fall over? Can you not move? It's interesting. This defense, this defense is another story. I can't hate on Darius Slay, the only real one in the secondary actually doing something.
No
doubt. He's going to be a Pro Bowler this year, the only one.
We'll continue with this conversation as we continue through the week here. They play the Niners on Sunday night. I don't know why they're going to torture us and put it on prime time, but we'll see what happens. They're probably one of the lowest rated games in all honesty. But we are going to go back over to the NBA. Some reports coming out from the Atlantic this morning that Paul George feels, quote, disrespected in that Clippers locker room. Gather another day, another Clippers drama. Is Paul George done in LA? Is he getting traded again this offseason?
Excuse me. They're not going to move on from him, but Paul George, you should feel disrespected because you know why? I feel disrespected for trying to defend you, Pandemic P. Zach, I look delusional on here. Well, maybe Paul George has something in his eye. Maybe that's the reason why I hit the backboard. Zach, I went beyond and over the hills and through grandma's houses just to defend Paul George. If he feels disrespected, good, because your best days are behind you. Arguably, the last year you were in OKC, you were in MVP race for a little bit. At the end of the year, Zach, you remember that. He was hitting a lot of three-point shots. He was averaging 30 points in like 5 games. Excuse me, in his last time at OKC. But Zach, If you feel disrespected, you have to feel disrespected because no one trusts you. You are the laughing stock of the bubble right now. You hit the backboard, my guy. You get paid almost $100 million a year, and you're hitting backboard. A 3-year-old won't even hit the backboard. That's sad. But going back to the actual the question, Clippers drama, is he gone? I don't think so. There is year one, Zach. You guys see what the new coach does. I think it's just all coming down on Paul George right now. He doesn't like it.
You play bad. I mean, that's what you should expect. There's no surprise there for Paul George, but we'll see how that plays out. According to them, Kawhi's doing untouchable this offseason. I'm interested to see what they do in this offseason. They should probably move at some point too. Change cities, man. That's the Lakers town. We talked about that yesterday. Go watch that show. We spoke very passionate about that. But coming up after this, yeah, the Marlins are playing in the playoffs and the Phillies aren't. We'll talk about them and around the MLB, see some games today, get some predictions moving forward, and then that will wrap up today's show. Stay tuned.
Would you like to know how you can support the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show? If so, head down to the comments on our YouTube channel. You will see 2 links there. The first is our Teespring, where you can see a wide variety of apparel products, including our signature product, the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show sweatshirts, offered in a variety of different colors, including gray, navy blue, and more. Finally, we have our Patreon page, where you can become a monthly donation member. 10% of all donations go towards an organization of our viewers' choice. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and if you can't donate, that's okay, because you can always share this.
Welcome back, everyone, here on the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show as we go around the MLB. Major League Baseball playoffs are here. Gavin, I know it pains us to talk about because our team fell short again, but let's try to keep it happy and positive here. I will read off some of the games, Gavin. We do have some games that started, I know, yesterday and the day before. We are now able to continue with this as teams continue to play again. We had the Astros beat the Twins 4-1 the other day. White Sox over the Athletics 4-1 to take a 1-0 lead, and the Rays beat the Blue Jays, and the Yankees crushed Cleveland. So, Gavin, we'll go over today's game starting at 12 o'clock, going all the way down to 10 tonight, and we will get some predictions on these games. So, Gavin, the Reds and the Braves today at 12:08. Game 1, who are you taking?
If the Atlanta offense shows up against Trevor Bauer, who's their starter today, they could win. But I gotta roll with the Reds. Because as long as Trevor Bauer's in the game and his experience is going to be the reason why they win today, he's not going to give up runs. He gives up home runs, and it's been very slight when he does. I think Trevor Bauer is going to be the key factor for the Reds today.
Yeah, no doubt. Like you said, it's about Atlanta's offense. Their defense is not steep enough, in my opinion, to make a serious run. The Astros and the Twins, again, I've said this all year. I'd love to see the Astros go on and go deep in the playoffs here because of the hate they've had. Hopefully they're not cheating. They shouldn't be. But Astros, Twins, Gavin. Astros are up 1-0 in the series. Who are you taking?
Well, I'm going to take the Astros today, and the Astros will move on. Zach, yesterday, the Twins were playing good. Maeda had 90 pitches going through 7. You get Trevor May in there, and then bases loaded in top 9, and you have a 1-run lead, or it was tied 1-1, and then you gave up a bases loaded, and then arguably you lose after that. I don't think the Twins have enough offense, pitching wise, when it comes to rotation to be in here. I'm going with the Astros today, and the Astros will move on.
Yeah, we'll see there. And then the AL East battle, the Blue Jays and the Rays. Again, Rays are up 1-0. I'm taking the Rays. They're just simply too strong on both sides of the ball. Gavin, what are your thoughts on that one?
Well, Blake Snell had a great outing yesterday. He had a no-hitter through 5, if I read that correctly. And Zach, I'm going to go with the Rays. I like the Blue Jays. They're going to be a problem in the future, but this is not enough for this year.
And here in our final 3, Cardinals, Padres, game 1. Padres have made the playoffs. Impressive. Very much so. I do have to take the Cardinals tonight. I trust their offense a little more, but Padres can come out and surprise. Their defense has been superb all year.
Well, Zach, you're going to roll with the Cardinals. I got to roll with the Padres, and the reason why is going to be the pitching and that offense they displayed all 60 games. If the pitching's there and the offense is there, they could win this series, and they could go. I'm not going to say all the way because there's an LA team in there, but they could go and win today.
And moving on here to our last games of the day, the Yankees and the Indians. It is currently 1-0 Yankees. I'm rolling with the Yankees tonight. They're really getting strong. They're getting healthy again. They're starting to look good, and I just think they're a better team than Cleveland altogether.
Zach, your best pitcher last night got destroyed. The Cy Young of pitchers for the AL and the Triple Crown winner got destroyed last night. The Yankees look great. I'm going with Yankees on this one. It's no doubt.
And wrapping up today, a battle of former MVPs, Brewers, Dodgers. Today at 10:08 p.m., I'm going with the Dodgers. You can't count them out, but I'd love to see the Brewers put up a good fight. They've kind of taken a step back this year from the past few years. Some of the injuries on their team have been unfortunate for them, but they're healthy right now. They look pretty healthy for the most part. I think that they're gonna put up a good fight, but I have to take the Dodgers. They're just simply too powerful.
I'm going to roll with the Dodgers in this one. I'm going to roll with the Dodgers for a long while. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for that. But, Zach, the one thing to the Dodgers is always Clayton Kershaw pitches way too much. This year, he didn't really pitch so much short in the season, short in their innings. He's going to be way more ready to go. You're getting Walker Buehler back, and then Dustin May. If Dustin May is going to be there, he's going to be good. But the offense, Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, Corey Seager, who came back, Justin Turner is back now. The Dodgers don't win the World Series this year. They're allergic to winning, and Dave Roberts has to go. But, hell, I'm a Phillies fan, so what do I know about winning?
Yeah, no, that's true. But other than that, the Dodgers are on paper one of the best teams. A big trade in the offseason. The Red Sox just giving stuff away for free at this point. But we'll have to see what happens. But with that being said, that pretty much wraps up today's show here on the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show. Again, we'll see if the Dodgers can pull it off tonight. Philly sports teams, the Union are playing. They're doing well right now. Not much else here to report. We'll continue with that. I'm not sure what Tampa's doing for their victory parade, whether it's virtual or what. We'll check in on that, and we'll supply some updates there, see how that rolls out. Not like Philly's having a parade anytime soon. But with that being said, everyone, thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. In addition, hit that bell icon and set it to all to get reminded of when we go live and when we post excerpts of our videos.